It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in the beauty wood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? So with this beautiful day, why don't we say, won't you be my neighbor? All right. All right, neighbor. Let's have a beautiful day.
Who are you talking to?
You don't want to be my neighbor?
Oh my God. Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson.
No. You're Mr. Rogers today.
Yes, today I was Mr. Rogers. You know, I hope everybody kind of got that. That was a lot of fun to do. Just because it all starts with my old man sweater that you guys make fun of me for. So
that's awesome.
It's a lot of fun to do that. I got to admit.
Well, that was.
But now I'm going to sing Mr. Rogers for like the next 2 weeks.
That was an experience. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's what you guys get for saying I have an old man sweater.
I don't remember those words coming out of my mouth.
No, I don't think they came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Just some select other people.
That's okay.
You know who you are when you're watching.
Anyway.
But anyways, today is a great episode. I'm really excited to do this one because we put a lot of effort into everything leading up to this, right?
It's about 6 months of work on our end.
On our end, yes.
To get you guys this issue, specifically to get you the winners.
So we're talking about our Reader's Choice Awards that get published in the January issue every single year. We're on our 5th year doing it currently right now, or we just wrapped up our fifth year actually, as we published it in the January issue. And it literally starts with us back in June.
Yes.
Right? So in June, we go through and we select the categories. Then we go through a process of making sure that we have every possible nominee listed in there. We also have write-ins for all the other companies that participate. And surprisingly enough, we do get a lot of write-ins.
Yes.
And then we start the process. I think we actually went live this year at the end of September.
Yeah.
And then through September, October, November, we do our collection. And we put a lot of effort into making sure that just about everybody that's in our world knows that they can go out and vote. So, all of the participants are pushing out, voting. We're pushing out voting through our print, through our online efforts, and everything through our podcast. And it's very fun to see too how everything transpires towards the end, especially as we get towards the end of voting and through the entire voting process to see how things change over time.
So, and I actually kind of want to talk about that for a brief moment. But before we do, let me tell you, subscribe to the channel, right? That way you get notifications for all new videos. And if you're not getting notifications from YouTube, then on the first link in the description, click that link and you can subscribe to our newsletter so that you get every new episode in your inbox every Saturday.
And I got to say, the newsletter is really where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you're getting fed a bunch of our content, not just the podcast,
Right.
but all of the articles that our staff produces.
Everything from DIY to boat reviews to all the content.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Trends in electronics, just everything that you
Galley
need.
recipes. And yeah, that's the stuff that we use as a basis for our conversations. Because the truth is, like, we know that sometimes you read the magazine and you wish you had somebody to talk, to talk to about it, right?
About it, yeah.
Like you get ideas. And so when you hear our conversations about it, for us, it's really more a motivator for you to go and actually talk about it, like to feel comfortable talking about it with the people that you love. So if you want more of that content, definitely subscribe. The newsletter will help you get that content, and then you can keep watching these videos to see the other angle from an insider perspective on the content.
Absolutely. So let's get started with Reader's Choice. So today we're going to go over 5 different boat categories of winners. And then next week we'll do the remaining 5 of the boat categories.
Right. Now there's over 30 categories, just so you know.
I think there was 37 this year, to be exact.
I legitimately have forgotten at this point.
Well, it's because I count them so many times.
Yeah, because
I personally am the one that
does.
Ian gives me the data, and then I basically make sense of it.
Because it's a lot of data.
It is.
Like we had over 39,000 votes.
Over 39,000 votes this year.
It's a lot of data. So he has better experience with, what would you call that?
Well, you have pivot tables and Excel and all that fun,
Like
fun
I can do it, but he's better at it. So
you're web. I'm more of a SQL guy.
So it works out. It actually works out really well. But yeah, it's a lot of information. So we hand it over to James.
And it's a lot of fun to see how it changes over time, like I said. So
yeah, because we do keep tabs on it as it goes from when we open voting to when we close voting.
Yeah, we're looking weekly at it.
Yes.
So, and just measuring everything, and it's a lot of fun.
It is.
It tells a story too.
Well, and not just that, but so what happens is we'll see a company that maybe we didn't put in because it wasn't nominated from the previous year. Mm-hmm. And we see enough votes where we realize, hey, this needs to be in the category, and we will update the question to make sure that they're an option for people to click instead of having to type it in. And then we'll also have people reach out to us and say, hey, I didn't notice this company. And so we'll go and we'll check, see how many write-ins they're in. And we're like, hey, this person's right. Thank you for pointing that out. So again, it's reader's choice. We have we have an emotional investment in it because it's a huge project, but we don't have.
Like everybody that's voting, they're emotionally invested as well.
Exactly.
Right. They want to know in January who won.
Yes.
Right. And all the brands want to know where they
lie. Yep.
So it's really important. And if you're one of these brands, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to go over the results with you in detail if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into it.
So let's jump right into it. So the first one that we're going to cover is the very first page of the Reader's Choice, right?
Right.
And that's the favorite motor yacht.
Mm-hmm.
And with no surprise, it's been one of you and I's favorite.
Yes.
It's Marlow.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's no surprise, not just to us, but I think to readers, obviously because you voted for it, but to people outside of our readership as well. I think Marlow is just the kind of brand name where you recognize it.
Right.
It's just you understand what that means, why they won first place.
The quality build, the quality service. It's everything about Marlow. It just doesn't surprise me that they come in first.
From the team that you interact with when you start looking at purchasing a Marlow, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's you're walking a boat show and you come across Marlow and you look at their vessels, from that first tour that you get of a vessel to when it's received, like the whole process, the team cares about the people that are buying their vessels.
Absolutely.
So definitely, and the photo that we use is the 90V because it's just stunning.
That's one of my most favorite Marlow yachts to date. I mean, it's stunning. The color combination, to me, it's one of those boats that you can just look at it, know that it's a Marlow, but then when I look at that color combination, I'm just like, that really sets it aside from everybody else.
Mm-hmm. That's a very fair statement.
Specific yacht in that color set it aside from everybody else.
I agree. Is there anything else you want to add about this? I feel like this one, it was a close race, but not the kind of close race where it was like, a difference of like a percentage point, right?
Yeah. So this one was close, but not like, as close as some of the others.
Right.
Marlow was kind of always the leader along the way. What was close was that second place.
Right.
So in this one, we ended up with Grand Banks and then Azimut as third. Yep. Grand Banks in second. And through the remainder of the ranks, we saw a lot of changes over time.
Yeah.
But Marlow was the winner by several points.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to watch.
And the next
one actually became a very tight race towards the end.
Yeah, this one was. We get that you don't get to watch the shifting and placing, but we do. Mm-hmm. So for us, it was
exciting
like
to watch this one. I actually had a lot of fun
watching
watching this one. And the winner, we know the winner very well. We've had an opportunity to sit down with them numerous different times. So the winner of the Power Cat category is nonetheless Horizon Power Cats.
That's right.
Now, I thoroughly enjoy the Horizon Power Cats. I think the last time that we met with Richard, well, actually, it's not the last time, but the time where Richard walked us through the new technology that he was using was probably one of my favorite times spent with him because it was very enlightening to see how much thought he has put into his yachts and how the owners of these yachts are going to interact with the technology and what it means to them.
You can tell that for him, it's every project is one of passion.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think that goes a long way
very
because,
well said.
You know, there's some companies out there, whether it be in the water sports category or whatever, that they do it because they're like, oh, this is a good investment. We should build this company up.
Right.
Right. And so they'll purchase, they'll take over, they'll adjust, and they'll make changes. But then you get builders like Richard. And he just loves what he does. He wants to provide the best possible vessel
really
to
shows
the owners.
In his yachts, right? And that's why I said it really shows that he thinks about how his owners are going to use the yachts and what that technology means to them and how it's going to enhance their experience.
Yes. And fortunately, I think we work with a lot of people that have that kind of passion.
We do.
But he's a great example.
Alone, there's a lot of that.
Right. Within our segment of this industry specifically. Yeah.
But, you know, he really takes it to the next level.
He does.
And congratulations to Horizon Power Cats.
Yes.
And this is their second year in a row winning.
Yeah.
So, you know, congratulations to them. It really speaks of the quality of yacht that they build. Now, the next one down is one of my favorite categories, right? And, you know, it's surprising to see the results this year, but it was very much welcomed. So that is the favorite center console of the year from our readers, Grady-White.
Grady-White.
You know, I was
and I think
happy to see this.
Yeah. I think
because
well deserved.
I like the Grady-White team. I like Grady-White boats.
Yep.
I think they build a phenomenal boat.
Yeah.
The quality of their builds is excellent.
Every time you get on a Grady-White, you recognize that it's
you've been with me a lot of times.
High quality build.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the one thing I can say is they have a unique design, and we can spot Grady-Whites all over the place, and we see a lot of them.
And you know, I'm the kind of person where once, whatever category you're in, if you're making an effort to have that unique design that is a statement to your company, it goes a long way with me personally. And so yes, Grady-White definitely lives up to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's again, phenomenal job that they do.
Yeah.
And congratulations to them for winning center console.
Absolutely. Like you've been balancing rugged and elegant in a way that in this category in a way that you just rarely see.
Great fishing boats, great pleasure boats. You know, they do a great job with everything, and their team is outstanding.
Yes.
Every time that we interact with them, I walk away going, wow, they really know what they're doing. They're really pushing themselves to make everything as best as they can.
Yes.
Whether that's from the build quality to the experience to the service, everything they do, they really push themselves. And that's why they won this year. I think that the audience recognizes the quality of Grady-White.
Yeah, I agree.
So the next one is one that I was really happy to see.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a staff It's a staff favorite,
yeah.
Right? So they were very pleased to see this as well. And the next category is picnic boat and down east style. So we combine this category because they are very similar.
Yes.
And the winner of this category is none other than Palm Beach Yachts.
That's right.
Everybody knows that Palm Beach makes an exquisitely designed, very beautiful, extremely elegant boat.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I think of a Palm Beach, it just, to me, its elegance is just something that I don't think it can be matched.
No, honestly. I mean, when you look at that style of boat, picnic down east, you think of elegance, right? You really do. You think of elegance, you know, for like a picnic boat or something that you could take a family out on, something you can go cruising on, something that can handle various environments. I love a down east style boat. And when you think of how Palm Beach has really stepped up the game on the design of a down east style boat, when you think of the fact that, I mean, they're an Australian builder, so you know that their vessels are going to be able to handle rugged weather, because out there. Like they're on an island, and the weather out there can be temperamental.
The weather, the seas.
Yes, the seas can be very rough.
Yep.
And so when you see the fact that they're bringing all the extra comfort, all the extra luxury, all the enhanced design elements and design cues, and then you take into account the fact that they're building something that's going to be able to handle rough waters. Like that's, to me, it's clear why they came out number one.
And a style too.
Right.
And do it with a style that's unmatched. So I'm absolutely enthralled that Palm Beach won this category. It makes some people on our staff very happy.
It does.
And it's just, again, it just speaks to the quality of what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So lastly that we'll cover today is the inflatable category, right? Everybody knows that we have to have the inflatables.
Yes.
You know, if you're a motor yacht owner, whether you have a Power Cat, whatever it may be, you probably have an inflatable, right? As a tender, right? But today, an inflatable is not meant to just be a tender anymore. Yes. We see some wild inflatables. We see some very practical inflatables. And we see inflatables that can be a primary boat.
You see multi-use inflatables that can function as a primary or
It's just depending on what you want these days.
Exactly.
So with no surprise, Zodiac.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Zodiac's been around quite a long time. They are really the number one inflatable without a doubt. They make several different models for several different uses. So it's of no surprise to me.
And they're, I think, the perfect example of the versatility that the inflatable segment kind of has, because they have everything from their yacht series that works as, a dinghy or a tender, right, to a full, like, I think it's a little over 32. It's like 10 meters, just under 10 meters, 32 feet center console that has cabin space, right? And they have another model that has an integrated kitchen and sink, and it's an inflatable.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and it's fully functional as
inflatable market really grow. To have all of these different styles of inflatables, and Zodiac continues to stay on the top. So congratulations to them.
They're growing. I think they're growing that segment in the way that they're expanding inflatables. And obviously there's other companies that are doing the same,
right? Because there's a lot of other brands in that space now.
Yes, there's a lot of other brands in that space, and they are staying competitive. But not just that, I think that they are, I just said I think a bunch of times, excuse me. They are...
What else do you think about?
Oh, so many things. They're the company
do you think you want to be my neighbor?
No, I don't want to do that. That's the part I...
just crushed my day, man.
Yeah, well,
it was a beautiful day until you said that.
I'm sure. Yeah, your whole day is ruined by me not wanting to be your neighbor. I doubt I have that much influence in your life. But Zodiac is the company that is essentially creating the competition. You know what I mean? They're not just staying competitive. They're creating the competition by essentially being, the king on top of the hill, where everyone looks and says, I kind of want to be in that spot. And so they're pushing competition in the rest of the industry because other people are saying, okay, we have to match their ingenuity. We have to match their creativity. We have to match their efforts in making the inflatable a stronger market.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that was my point. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, we got the point. You don't want to be my neighbor.
You want to be my neighbor, if anything.
Literally, yes. I do look at homes in this neighborhood because I would like a 2-minute walk to work. That would be nice. So that's it for today's episode. We covered 5 different segments or categories of the Reader's Choice. Next week, we will cover 5 more, but I invite you to go ahead, go online, or pick up your issue of Southern Boating and read through the Reader's Choice Awards. It is one of my favorite issues of the year. All of them are my favorites, I can't lie.
Yeah.
But this one, we put a lot of work into it. As you heard us discuss, it's 6 months worth of work to telling all this stuff and going through the process of doing Reader's Choice. And it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
So pick it up, give it a read, go online, give it a read. Either which way, it's a great read for you. We enjoy it. So until next time, I'm James Anderson, Southern Boatings, aka Mr. Rogers, or aka Southern Boatings Mr. Rogers. You'll edit that to be correct.
No, I'm gonna leave it just how it was.
But we look forward to seeing you next week. Ian will sign off now because Mr. Rogers only says it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I'm Ian Sneed. Is that how I'm signing off? We'll see you next week.
Make sure to come back and check us next week.
What happened there?
Did you almost miss?
No, my hands got stuck. I clapped and then they wouldn't come apart.